From the first store in 1960 and first franchise store in 1983, Domino's turned out to be the world's second largest pizza company and the largest pizza delivery quick-serve restaurant chain. Over the years, Domino's has been changing its strategy, having extended its success in overseas territories with 4,422 stores spread across the world. In order to achieve these results, Domino's has been making changes to its supply chain service over the years, so that its strategy responds effectively to market demands.
To begin with the Domino's strategy, it's needed to say that it focuses simply on cutting down on delivery time and being closer to carry-out customers. Moreover, it wants to add more stores to existing markets and last but not least, maintain low costs. So they developed an efficient and well-functioning supply chain with operations that respond to a set of performance objectives, adding value to the company. These objectives are quality. Domino's wants to maintain error-free products and processes. To achieve that, it collaborates with its suppliers and is in a good and long relationships with them, what enables to control costs, reduce risks, and eliminate many of the typical back-of-store activities. Domino's also provide mobile app where customers can order and track their orders. Speaking of speed, they set a specified delivery radius what enables quick deliveries within 10 minutes from the moment of placing an order, what is possible mostly thanks to their efficient belt-driven ovens. Moving on to dependability, they stick to the promised time of 10 minutes delivery. Then we can distinguish costs. The external benefits that come from this term are minimum price and highest value. Domino's, in order to handle its costs and processes, organizes core meetings to discuss what should be improved and how to handle with price fluctuations in the market. And finally, Domino's adapts the menu to each country following customers' demand. They ask for feedback and also provide frequent new products.
Domino's applies some lean practices, cost time, reduce non-value adding time in order to improve service and reduce costs. An example of this practice is the fact that Domino's has the Mac line station, used the belt-driven pizza oven, and invented the spool. All these actions contribute to make pizza in just 24 seconds without wasting more value for less time. Improved throughput via pull system states that it is the end customer's demand that activates the production of the services or products, and consequently there is no inventory. Therefore, in this case, the production of pizzas in the store only starts when the customer places an order. Continuous flow process each unit individually. This has the advantages of being able to send goods to the market continuously and deliver value to customers more often. As shown by the process of making the pizzas, on the make line each pizza is assembled individually, ingredient by ingredient, and when completed, another one is started at the customer's request. Inventory management. Process of ordering, storing, and using a company's inventory, which includes the management of raw materials, components, finished products, warehousing, and processing. This company applies this practice using a computer system that manages the inventory, orders, stocks, and sales. Also, makes the delivery of the goods at night, and at stores, the shelves have rotating items, so older products would be used first. All of these minimize the waste of both time and food.
Risk management has the function of understanding the company's internal processes to isolate the most relevant and critical threats and reduce the risk of failure. So, to understand the risk profile of a business, it is necessary to consider the 5 main sources of risk: supply risk, demand risk, process risk, control risk, and environmental risk. As for natural disasters, Domino's was ahead enough to place trailers at stores that were damaged by the Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. Allowing it to rescue workers and displaced citizens, being the last to close and the first to reopen. Domino's was also able to provide extra resources as well as to make early deliveries to meet customer demand. Consider the Texas storm on the day of the Super Bowl. As for economical factors, there was this issue about corn. Being the core of dairy and meat production, since it's an input to animal feed, the corn is transformed into high fructose syrup that is an important sweetener for beverages and foods Thus, it has risen to the supply shocks such as the weather changes and higher oil prices and household incomes in specific zones. Therefore, Domino's created the core meeting, gathering all senior executives to ensure that Domino's buy teams to work more proactively with our suppliers.
The pizza market in the US is very competitive, where in addition to the companies of large chain, small and independent traders also have a great influence on the market. On the other hand, economic crises and fluctuations further aggravate this competitiveness, which is why it's a very competitive market. In this way, companies see technology and innovation as a very efficient way to increase their advantage over competitors. Domino's has from a very early age seen the topic of innovation and technology as an essential factor in creating an advantage over competitors. It has not only considered technological innovation in its products and services, but also in other fields such as innovation in the logistics, operations and franchising system. This early approach has a very positive impact on the company, allowing not only the increase of customers and market share, but also the expansion of the business at national and international level. The Domino's consideration about the emerging technologies linked to the social networks and mobile applications are a clear gateway for the company to enter in the open innovation approach, a team with high potential that not only further unites the customer with the company, but also enables the development of products and services, increasing efficiency and performance. It will certainly be a path to consider to successfully achieve the company's future goals, creating more value and differentiation from competitors.
One of the tools that could help the Domino's company to improve its activities would be the use of a performance importance matrix. We set the indicators and match them into areas we found appropriate regarding their levels of performance against competitors and importance for customers. The main issue that Domino's deals with is the fact that fast delivery and great taste are not compatible. They should focus more on improving the quality of the food. However, it would affect delivery time and increase costs. Nevertheless, sometimes it's needed to somehow weaken one point in order to improve the other. The goal here is to have all our indicators in the area called as appropriate.
Risk management. The risk matrix is helpful for risk assessment. Domino's can measure with this tool the risks, for example, risk of market changes, and obtain the rate. In this case, since it is a very likelihood and severe risk, the company would state that market fluctuations are a high risk for the business. Then Domino's could decide to create solutions that meet what the market is asking. For example, create a healthier pizza, gluten-free, with biological ingredients.
Location choice is important to minimize costs. In Domino'S case, centralized buying also helps ensure that companies' high quality and food safety standards are maintained in all locations. So when choosing a supplier for their international franchising stores, Domino's can calculate in first place a center of gravity, the best location for the warehouse from where the goods left by the suppliers will be distributed to the stores at the minimum cost possible. Then, if there was no hypothesis in having the warehouse in that location, see other possibilities of locations around the centroid and choose one of them through multi-criteria as transport costs and customer experience. Also important is to check whether Domino's supply chain operations are aligned with a sustainable strategy. At the source level, the company can check the impact on society of selected locations for the warehouse, with a social indicator like the number of hours it takes to arrive to work. Employees close to work usually have a better quality of life. In the making phase, company can check the impact of changing the structure of the workplace to reduce movements within the work area through economic indicator as the employee's productivity. More productivity means positive impact of workplace change. At the delivery, for example, the company can check the impact of electrical vehicles to make last mile transport. In this case, the delivery of pizza by using an environmental indicator as the CO2 emissions in the cities of the stores with this type of transports. less emissions would mean a positive impact of this measure.
The decision tree is an important tool which can be very useful in the decision making, allowing the company to make sure that the best decision is chosen. For example, Domino's could use the decision tree to make sure if the small store strategy can provide more advantage over large stores, or if a change at this strategy could be better for the company considering the current environment.